Hi, hi guys, Dirk Aperture here. So I've been doing a lot of game PC builds lately, so I thought I'd break up the pace a little. This is wrong. I'm actually compared to the i9505, whatever. So this is a comparison between the HTC One and the Galaxy S4. Now this is fanboyism aside. There's no, oh, the HTC One's made of aluminum. The Galaxy S4 sucks. Or the HTC One can't remove a battery. The HTC One sucks or anything. We're just gonna look plain simple at the benchmarks and decide which one is ultimately a better phone. So, first, round one is the specs. Now, the CPU for the specs, the Samsung Galaxy S4 has a Cortex A15 at 1.6 GHz and a 1.2 GHz Cortex A7. Whereas the HTC One is the 1.7 GHz Snapdragon 600, which is a Cortex A15. Now, you might want to think the HTC One wins, but the Galaxy S4 will be hardly a second behind the HTC One in terms of power because of that, and it has a power-saving Cortex A7, so I'd say that means the Galaxy S4 wins. Now, for the display, the HTC One is a 4.7-inch 1080p Super LCD-free display, and the Galaxy S4 is a 5-inch 1080p same resolution display that's Super AMOLED. You can decide. I personally like the larger screen size, so the Galaxy S4 wins on this one. Now, display PPI, the HTC One is 469 PPI, and the Galaxy S4 is 441 PPI, so the HTC One wins. Now for the RAM, they both have 2 gigs. And for the cameras, the HTC has its 4 megapixel, which they call their 4 ultra pixel camera, which is, according to them, an ultra pixel is a megapixel on steroids. And they have a 2.1 megapixel 1080p front. Guess. The Galaxy S4 has a 13 megapixel rear and a 2 megapixel 1080p front. So I call it a tie. We'll look at the camera benchmarks in a moment. You can decide, because I think it comes to opinion over there. Now for the battery, the Galaxy S4 takes this round easily because the HTC One has a 2,300 millionth hour battery that you can't remove. The Galaxy S4 is a removable 2,600 millionth hour battery. They both. Actually, no, this isn't graphics. See, that was when I was trying to use the American version, which I said not to do. It's a Power VR chip, one of the top of the line ones. That's all I'll say. Making some mistakes here, but whatever. I can't really say which one is better. We'll have to look at the benchmarks. This is a tie. Now for the storage, the HTC One comes in 32 and 64 gigabyte versions, now expandable. The Galaxy S4 comes in 16, 32, 64 gig versions, and it's expandable to I think another 64 gigs, which makes the Galaxy S4 take the storage round. Now overall, I think the Galaxy S4 has better specs. These scores do not mean the HTC One sucks. It's just that the Galaxy S4 took more rounds. Don't think this is an overall phone spec score, because they're both up in the 9s and 9 out of 10 area. So, round 2, benchmarks. Now, the thing is, I do not have the ability to afford either of these phones, so I can't test them myself, so I'm just looking at benchmarks online. So, first, Geekbench, the Galaxy S4 takes this round by a noticeable margin. It's around 500 or so in score. That's all I have to say for Geekbench. Now for Quadrant Standard, the Galaxy S4 takes it again, though by a slightly closer margin. Don't be fooled by this graph. Just look here, it's like only a 300 difference. Not really big at all. Don't worry, HTC fans. So, then we have the Antutu benchmark. Now the HTC One takes this round by a noticeable margin. It's about 10% faster, which is big, and we're comparing two IN 2013 phones. So HTC One wins round 3. Now, when I said my first benchmarks thing, the first phone to win free tests wins. So the HTC One is facing a loss in the benchmarks here for Epic Citadel, and the Galaxy S4 wins Epic Citadel. It gets 59.26 or so frames per second, whereas the HTC One gets like 52.7 or something. I really remember, but still. You can see the point. The Galaxy S4 wins this benchmark, and the benchmark's end. The Galaxy S4 is the benchmark champion, winning 3 tests, whereas the HTC One won 1 test. Seems legit. Now for round 3, the camera. This was a little easier to find tests for since there are plenty of camera comparisons. So I just picked 3 ones. This is opinion. You can decide. No pun intended, by the way. Pick 1. Pick 2. Pick 3. You can really see the HTC One pull away in the little light tests. So that the one who won, no pun intended again, is your opinion. I think the HTC One won this camera test. God, he's no pun intended again. Holy crap. Now, round 4 is design. The Galaxy S4 is sturdy and it feels right in your hand, but the main problem, which HTC fans are trying as hard as they can to exploit to prove the HTC One is better, it's the fact that this phone is mostly plastic. Like it or not, polycarbonate back is at heart plastic. Now, advantage of this is that you can expand the memory and upgrade the batteries, something the HTC fans have not said or touched on about. But having a plastic back does make your phone feel a little cheaper than it should, because it's a high-end premium phone that you pay a lot for. You expect top quality. Now, with the HTC One, besides the lack of memory expansion and battery changing abilities, the HTC One hits it right off the design. It has a sleek metal casing. It's actually aluminum, but I was too lazy to type it. That'll make Apple fanboys drool like never before, because the HTC One is probably way better built than the iPhone's ever been. Now, it's true that the Galaxy S4 is a larger display, but the HTC One makes you think when you hold it, you got what you paid for. A high-end premium phone, and the S4 does not have that same feeling. Plain and simple. Likewise, the S4's battery replacement, expandable memory to counter, and a larger display is still a factor. I call this in the end, much to the dismay of HTC fans, and to the dismay of some Samsung fans who were touting on the memory expansion and larger display, a tie. So, round 5, the display. Now, I can't show you the display quality in a simple video, so you're going to have to see it yourself. I did, and you don't have to take my word for it, but I think the HTC One's display just doesn't match up to the S4's display. If you look them side by side, the HTC One's display looks really nice, but the Galaxy S4's display just goes that inch further from being really just great to being exceptional. So, I say the S4 won this round, plus the S4's display is larger. However, if you like detail, the HTC One has a little more PPI. Don't know how that'll match up in the end, though. So, round 6, audio. There's no contest here. The HTC One just wins. I'm not even going to bother trying to argue it. The Samsung Galaxy S4 is just that one tiny little speaker in the back, for sure. Yet the HTC One is these 2 huge speakers. And while Beats audio is overpriced, it's pretty good here. So, the HTC One wins in audio quality. So, in the end, these both phones are pretty good. The HTC One had a better camera, better audio quality, took the Antutu benchmark, and if you don't want removable battery or expandable memory and you want a smaller display, the HTC One's design is tops easily. Plus, its front camera is pretty much unmatched with its 2.1 megapixel rating, but that was its merits. The S4 won in more important tests, like the display It had that removable battery and expansion. It makes you feel like you own the phone. So more than the HTC One, which pretty much locks yourself down like you have an iPhone, which kind of sucks, HTC. I'm disappointed in that. But likewise, I think the S4 is the winner of this round. Just my opinion. You guys can argue in comments. I won't block you or anything, no matter what, no matter how hateful you can get, because I'm going to take criticism. In the end, goodbye. I now gotta go edit this in Windows Movie Maker because I'm totally professional. And Bandicam has a 10-minute recording limit. Bye.